not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That's a quote by James Clear in Atomic Habits, which I'm sure many of you have heard. But for me, it's my first time reading this book, so it sparks a motivation in me to create this video. And I want you guys to remember the word motivation because it's going to be an essential theme and key topic of this entire video. And I'm going to go through the reasons why I think motivation is also the problem, yet it's also the driver for a lot of the things that we do daily, right? Including this channel. But first, I want to start with my own anecdotal evidence. So I was looking back on my old photos and it stopped me because I've realized that all the time I put in the gym, I can actually see it now today, right? And the thing is, I know it made a difference, but I can't point to one specific workout that changed me, right? There's not one day where I showed up and the progress was instantly visible, right? There's not one day at all. That progress was invisible daily, yet I stuck with my habits and my system of going to the gym every day, and eventually it's there, right? It's not like a snap of a finger it comes out of, but it's these weeks and weeks and months and years of consistency that really makes that change. And I think that's also the trap with habits, right? Because not one individual day itself is consequential, right? You can skip the gym today, you could doesn't really change anything. You could stop flossing, right? And that one day is not going to make a difference. Your brain thinks about that and it's like, okay, so this doesn't really matter, so I don't need to do it, right? And while your brain might be right about that one specific day, it really does matter about your life and the future you, right? So I play poker, and the one thing that I always think about when I play is poker is like one long session. I don't think about the results of one specific game because I could have you could play poorly and win, or you could play really good and lose. But in the long run, as long as you make the right decisions and have an edge, you'll always win. And I think habits are really similar in that way because you don't judge one specific day. You judge your edge and the habits, and your systems and the process of it all, and make sure that you actually are consistently getting better daily. And that's the crazy thing because it can compound both ways, right? In the book Atomic Habits, I've read, James Clear mentioned about how getting 1% better every day, but you can also get 1% worse daily, right? And in the latter direction, you get really, really close to zero in a really, really quick amount of time. But if you're able to get 1% better daily, then that really compounds and you're going to see that in months time, years time, whatever it may be. But it's hard to stick with it daily because 1% is not visible and it shouldn't be visible. And I see these directions in myself, right? For me, the positive direction is the gym, where after finally consistently going about a year ago, while each workout may not be noticeable in progress and visually I can't see any difference, but from a year ago, I can tell that from photos, right, that my body is much different than what it was a year ago. And while I knew that back then a year ago that each individual workout wasn't going to change who I am, I knew that if I stuck with those habits and the process, I'll eventually turn into or get the results that I want. Now, the other direction, though, was my posture. I've been trying to fix it recently, and it's not that one specific day had ever hurt me, but it's the compounding of each of these days where my back slouches more and more, or it just becomes my norm, right? So what I've been trying to do is anytime I notice that my back is not fully straight, I'll just make sure to align it. And it's really hard because my norm is to slouch over a bit and not have my back fully straight. And this really does just add up over time and it becomes my quote unquote normal. But I don't want this to be my normal. So I really need to have motivation and dedication to stick with it. And that's the hard thing about motivation. It's just a resource. It's not renewable. It's going to dip every time. It's eventually going to run out. And that's the thing that I see out of a lot of goals that people make, right? It's that If you only care about the goal or the reward at the very end, you don't fall in love with the process, as James Clear talks about in Atomic Habits. You end up deciding every day, right? Like if you go to the gym, you're like, oh, should I go? But I'm a little too tired. You don't want to make it a choice. You want to make it a non-negotiable. It's like part of you, right? He talks about a lot about identity. James Clear does in the book, and you want to be a person who goes to the gym, right? Not just someone that might go to the gym sometimes. You just want to make it part of you, the part of your baseline, so that when you're feeling tired, that you fall down to just going to the gym no matter what. Being tired is not a reason for you to not go to the gym. It's just a non-negotiable. Like the one thing I like to think about is you don't need to want it more. You just need to decide less. But sometimes making habits really is hard. Like this channel, for instance. 10 days ago, I made my first video, and I finally looked at the responses, and that was honestly the main reason why I ended up making this video today, is that I finally got some sort of motivation and reward, right? I saw that I got a couple likes on my video, and a comment from someone motivated me to continue. But that's why I didn't post for the first 10 days, because that motivation from the first video ran out. And with YouTube especially, there's no instant reward. Unless maybe you do Reels. I guess that definitely is more of one. But posting these long form content, sort of long, whatever that is, nothing's going to change in one specific day. And it's not easy to keep going when I know nothing is going to instantly change in one specific day. But that's like exactly the topic of my first video, is that nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So for me, it was like I knew that I need to actually make YouTube something that I'm gonna do. Whether that is like every week, every other week, whatever it is, I need to make it actually something that is consistent, right? Part of my system. And I need to fall in love with the process of making this video, which I honestly have. And it's really helped me in a lot of ways, right? I need to practice my speech. I need to practice my posture and the way I talk, the way I use my hands, all that. And just being able to clearly express my thoughts is something that is really helpful for not just now, but the future. And this video is something that I want to make, or just creating YouTube videos in general, something that's a non-negotiable for me, and it becomes a habit. So if there's something I want you to take away from this video, it's just fall in love with that process and make it happen. Make it part of your system. And while it may be hard, you need to just make it something that is possible for you to stick with daily or weekly, whatever it may be. Make it something that you actually can enjoy, and make sure it's not too hard, where it's like a big jump. Just make it something very simple, something that you can stick to daily. And do it with something else, right? In the book Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about stacking it with things that you already do consistently, right? Like maybe if you don't floss your teeth, which I used to not do that often. What I would do is right before I brush my teeth, I would just floss. And now it's just become a habit for me, where I don't even think about, oh, should I floss? Should I not floss? It's just something, okay, I'm going to floss right now and then brush my teeth. It just becomes something part of my daily habits and my systems. Getting better daily is such a simple task, but it's not easy, right? Nobody tells you that easy and simple are the same thing. So for whoever is still here somehow at the end of this video watching, I just want you to pick one thing, one tiny simple thing that you can do and stack onto something you already do daily. Just make it something that's non-negotiable, and that way it eventually becomes part of your habits and becomes part of your systems, right? And within a couple weeks, months, years from now, it'll compound, and you'll eventually see those results happen. You fall to the level of your systems, so you want to make sure you build a floor that you're okay landing on.